about the fact that too many of us are hustling backwards. We are using these platforms to be popular and to not be paid. Hey good people, it is Shire from Politics and Fashion here today with a video that is all about why you are not making money as a content creator. Now, if you came to this video because you were interested in becoming a content creator or because you are a creator and you're trying to figure out how to increase revenue, you have made to the right place, my friends. Get in here, get locked and loaded. I got 5 truths to share with you. Now, let me just say that today's video was inspired by a TikToker. I saw her TikTok on B. Scott's Instagram page where she talked about the fact that she had earned over 6 figures as a content creator in the previous year, and this year she was broke. Now, she was clear to say that she wasn't broke as in destitute and couldn't feed herself, but the brand deals had dried up. The brand deals were not branding. And immediately, I heard the advice that I shared with you all in this entire Solopreneur series, which will be linked down below, ring louder than ever before. And you may have heard me talk about this on my stories. And I want to bring that kind of diatribe from my stories to today's YouTube video because we are making key mistakes that can be transformed so easily, you all, so easily. I don't know her lane or her entire profile, so this is not about that one creator. It is about the fact that too many of us are hustling backwards. We are using these platforms to be popular and to not be paid. I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but you're here now. I think there is a pattern that has emerged around the mistakes that we are making. Just so you know, I have been a content creator for over a decade. I was an early blogger inspired by people like Karen Britchick and Ami Song of Style. Became also someone who created content on social media, of course, and then diversified even to a podcast. But my background is as an attorney. I am a reformed attorney. My podcast is with my best friend Margot, where we talk about some of these ideals. And I've never left behind every aspect and component of who I am. And we're going to dig deeper into that in just a minute. But first and foremost, I would say one of the reasons why you are not making money as a content creator is because you are focused on one single platform. And I just told you my background for a reason. Because currently I am here on YouTube. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I still have my blog and my website that does not get updated nearly enough, but I will keep it as a home for long form content. I have a private community. We could go down the list. Everywhere that you could be online except Substack, I'm probably there. And no, I don't give each and every one of these platforms the same level of attention. I mean, it's only 24 hours in a day. And while I call myself a media mogul, that's more about a practice of manifestation than reality. And so, and to be honest, I don't enjoy every platform the same. I have no use for X, aka Twitter, in my life. I got drugged for filth one time on Twitter and I haven't been back. I said, oh, this ain't, because I'm about to turn on your location. So every platform is not for everybody. But for me, some presence on most platforms is really important because it is a practice in being able to monetize, of course. And that becomes dangerous, you all, because when I think about TikTok possibly being banned, I mean, they have a short period of time to divorce themselves from their parent company, or it will definitely be banned. Or I think about those days when Instagram just stops working randomly. Or I think about the way that these algorithms will play in our face. And you are trying to receive brand deals, and then all of a sudden you post something and you get a quarter of the likes that you typically do. Being on one platform can be very dangerous for us as digital creatives. And that is why, while YouTube is my favorite place to hang out, and I will get there in just a minute because I see the value of it so clearly compared to other platforms, I will always be across platforms because I can get a check on any of these platforms. And that's really, really important when it comes down to being a content creator. Last thing I'll say about that, you all, is obviously, as I mentioned, you cannot give every platform the same amount of time and attention. And that's why it's important to know different hacks to be able to do so. And I can get into how you syndicate your content in a future video. Let me know down below if you're interested. The other reason you are not making money as a content creator is because you are not on YouTube. You are not using YouTube for what it's worth, because if you were on YouTube and you were consistent, Google AdSense would cut you a check. Right now, my analytics and my AdSense kind of hovers around $2,000 to $4,000 a month, depending on the month and whether or not it is a high traffic time like Vlogmas or the end of the year, for example. And so that money alone can pay a lot of people's mortgage, can pay your child's college tuition for that month, right? Can pay the daycare bills. That money alone can make sure that your most material needs are met. And my mindset is like this. If you are going to create the content anyway, if you're going to create video content anyway, pull that same phone out, turn it from portrait to landscape, and create a YouTube channel. The value I've already discussed in a video around YouTube versus Instagram. It is part of the Solopreneur series. Check it out next. But the value cannot be minimized of having a presence here on this platform. It's another reason why folks are not making the money that they could. Now let's get to brand deals, because I think someone probably clicked on today's video thinking that I was going to tell you hacks around how to get brand deals. That's not what I do. Brand revenue goes like this. It's just natural, right? Brands' budgets, brands' priorities, all those things reflect the market, reflect their own personal values, reflect racism. I'm sorry, girl. It's just... Yeah, white supremacy, it gets stuck in the back of your throat, or you just gotta really get it. Gotta get it out of it. Brands have their own set of values, and whereas I enjoy brand partnership when we are aligned, what I understand is that that cannot be the majority of my income. So again, this is not the place where I'm going to tell you how to get brand deals. But what I am going to say is, if you are someone who is interested in working with brands, another reason why you are not making money as a creator is because you are not pitching to brands. You are not pitching to brands. You are not DMing. You are not demonstrating a very natural interest in the product, the service, the item, the good, the place. You have not put yourself in a position to be seen and to be noticed. Now, cold pitching isn't always the easiest thing to do, especially not when it is a very large brand. But I do find that working with smaller brands or mid-sized brands is not as hard as you would think, especially if you just take the time to create a media kit and to reach out via DM if it's a platform specifically around social media, or to send a more formal email, which in my geriatric millennial age, that's where I like to go with it, okay? But if you can find a real person, which can be very difficult to reach out to, it is definitely worth the time to pitch. Another thing that I have come to understand is that brands think about their budgets typically in quarters. And I get in front of them probably around the beginning of November or even October sometimes, not for the end of the year, because that holiday traffic, those deals have already been signed, sealed, and delivered. But I think about it for January. And people don't always have a lot of money at the beginning of the year, but I did that with my client BetterHelp, and it paid off. I negotiated a 3-month brand collaboration with BetterHelp because I pitched to them last year for this year. Do not put yourself in a passive position where brands have to come to you. As a matter of fact, one of the values of working with an admin team in the past has been that I can put them on pitching, because I do have so much other work to do as the talent, as the creator. But I would say, if you were in a position where you feel like you're at the point where you're ready to start working with brands, make that an important part of your weekly schedule to reach out to brands that you naturally love, that you have already tagged, mentioned, etc., and try to work out some sort of brand deal. Even if it starts with PR gifts, it's better than nothing, because that signals to me that you were on your way to a paid collaboration because you have the brand's attention. That's how I actually started with Osea many years ago. I mean, I think I may have had 4,000 IG followers, and I have worked with Osea now on Instagram, here on YouTube, as well as my podcast. And it simply started out by me DMing them, asking them to send me some body butter. probably about 7 or 8 years ago. And look at where we are today. And the fourth reason why you are not making money as a content creator is because you do not have a solopreneur mindset. Having a solopreneur mindset has been clutch for me because it has forced me to reckon with what I love doing and how I can do more of that, whether it is in front of or behind or around or to the side of a camera. As a matter of fact, very soon I am working with the Movement for Black Lives to launch an influencer academy that is all about working with cohorts of content creators on how they can infuse social justice principles into their content, no matter what their content is about. Critical, especially this year, you all, as we lead towards an election. If I only saw myself as an influencer, or if I only saw myself as someone who is on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, I never would have been able to strategize with InfraBL to even come up with this idea. There are so many lessons and mistakes that I've made to bring me to this point that I want to share with you all in a much clearer and disciplined way that feels grounded and practical tips. So join me on May 15th at 7 p.m. where we're going to talk about what it means to develop a solopreneur mindset as a digital creative. This will be an hour-long virtual conversation, you all, because I want to make sure folks can tune in from no matter where they are. And it's going to be full of advice and, once again, practical tips that I think you need to understand how we can make digital content creation work for us. And the last reason why you are not making money as a content creator is because you do not see yourself as the brand or as a brand. You are the brand. It's you. And there aren't any tricks to it. There aren't any, you don't need a LLC, a BAC, a SSP, scope of work, standard operating procedures, a JIQ for all my government workers. You don't need that. You are the brand. The second you took a picture and you posted it and you tagged, the second you posted an affiliate link, the second you created your YouTube channel, you became the brand. And as a result, what I often ask myself is, well, what would Target do? What would Apple do? What would Diptyque do? What would any brand do? Just because there are some brands, Stanley, that make cups that have gotten wildly popular for no reason. And there are other brands that maybe provide a service, the Orkin Man, for example, Hertz, Enterprise. It does not mean that you don't also fall within that ecosystem, in that economic system. That is where we are as a post-industrial capitalist society. You are the brand. When Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman, let me handle my business. Damn, that is what he was talking about. So as a result, the question is, how do you walk in a room, whether it's in real life or it's virtual, and how do you negotiate based upon your likeness? For example, I had a brand reach out recently and asked me to speak on a panel. I said, great, I love speaking. You all know this about me. But what I'm not going to do, and I've had to learn this the hard way over the years, is provide for you one of my greatest resources as a brand. From 5 years old, down at St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church, when I said Happy Easter Day, to Georgetown University Law Center, I have many, many years in the game of perfecting my ability to speak and to do so well. Goodyear make tires. You buy your tires for your car. So why would I not get paid to speak? This is what I do. You are the brand. What do you do and how can it be monetized? That should be your expectation. And if it's not, see tip number 4 and meet me at the webinar on May 15th. Y'all, I cannot wait to dig deeper into this. Just speaking to you here has excited me so much. And so when I see y'all on May 15th, we are going to have lots to discuss. In the meantime, once again, make sure you dig deeper into my Solopreneur series. Make sure you are following me all across the internet. And I will see you good people next time. Peace.